Hi again. Today, I want to tackle something that drives me crazy in the property world, this idea of a seller's market, where buyers supposedly have no power. I've been in real estate for years now, and I'm going to let you in on a secret. There's no such thing as a seller's market. There are just buyers making emotional decisions instead of strategic ones. Let's get real about this. Every time prices shoot up, the media starts talking about a hot market where sellers have all the control. But here's what's actually happening. Too many buyers are throwing sensible negotiation tactics out of the window and making decisions with their hearts instead of their heads. First big mistake, emotionally attaching to properties. I see this constantly. Buyers walk into a home and start imagining their furniture placement, their kids in the backyard, the dinner parties they'll host. They're mentally moving in before they've even made an offer. Never fall in love with a property. The moment you become emotionally invested, you lose negotiating power. That beautiful four-bedroom with the perfect kitchen, it's just bricks, timber, and land. There are thousands more like it. The moment you convince yourself this is the one, you've already decided to pay whatever it takes, and agents can smell that desperation from a mile away. I tell my clients to view at least 20 properties before making offers. This builds your knowledge base and prevents emotional attachment to any single place. Remember, it's a business transaction, not a romantic relationship. Next tip, always put expiry dates on your offers. I'm amazed how few buyers do this. You make an offer and then what? You just wait indefinitely while the agent talks to the seller, which often means shopping your offer around to drive up the price. When you make an offer, attach a clear expiration time, maybe 24 or 48 hours. This creates urgency on the seller's side instead of yours. It says, "This is my offer. Take it or leave it by Tuesday at 5 p.m., or I'm moving on." You'd be surprised how often this flips the power dynamic. Suddenly, the seller is worried about losing you, not the other way around. I recently had a client make an offer 15% below asking price with a 24-hour expiration. The agent called an hour before the deadline to accept. Without that deadline, they would have strung my client along for days trying to find a higher offer. Now let's talk about something that really gets my blood boiling: illegal auctions and price manipulation. You know the scenario. You make an offer, and suddenly there's a competing offer that's just slightly higher than yours. The agent calls, "If you can just increase by another $15,000, the property is yours." This is often nothing more than price baiting. In many cases, that competing offer either doesn't exist or comes from a friend of the agent just to drive up the price. It's unethical and, in many places, downright illegal. Here's how to counter this. First, refuse to participate in blind bidding. Ask for proof of other offers. They may not provide specifics, but an ethical agent should at least confirm that legitimate competing offers exist. Second, stick to your maximum price. Determine your ceiling before making your first offer, and don't go above it, no matter how much pressure you feel. I've seen buyers get caught in these artificial bidding wars and end up paying $50,000 more than necessary. Third, be prepared to walk away. This is your strongest power move. When an agent sees you're ready to leave the negotiation, the dynamic shifts dramatically. Let me tell you about research psychology in auctions. Studies show that the fear of losing to another bidder triggers similar brain patterns to physical pain. Agents know this and use it against you. Stay logical and recognize when you're being manipulated. Another tactic? Use the property's time on market as leverage. If a place has been listed for 45 plus days, there's no hot seller's market for that particular property. The longer it sits, the more power you have. I've secured properties at 20% below asking price simply because they'd been sitting unsold for months. Also, get familiar with the property's history. Has it been listed before? Did a previous sale fall through? Was there a recent price reduction? These are all negotiating chips that tell you the seller might be more motivated than they appear. Remember, in any market, there are always properties that aren't selling and motivated vendors who need to move on. Finding them is where the real opportunity lies. The truth is, the power in property negotiations belongs to the side with the most information and the most discipline. Sellers don't create sellers' markets. Uninformed, emotional buyers do.